Evening, people. Welcome back to BNR. It's me, it's Gene. It's the Red Zone. I think we call it the Red Zone these days, but whatever we are, it's the post match reaction to an entertaining, a lively, a toxic at times match today and atmosphere. But I'm sure we'll talk about the atmosphere later on, Gene. But it was a game of two halves today. We were brilliant first half. If we didn't come out second half, it didn't probably matter because that's how we played. Like,
Yeah,
we thought we played the second half like we thought our flight is at 6:30 this evening rather than tomorrow evening. But yeah, the boys are off to Dubai, but they thought that they're going to Dubai in the second half, and then we got a few more moments. Like I said, I'm sure we'll dive into, but. How's your day, man? You were quite low today in the main stand near me.
I
Near
know,
the
man.
near the long the season ticket holders that have been there for 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years in some cases. But you were really close to the action. But I know when you're not in the cop, you don't feel right.
It wasn't no mosaic, if I'm honest with you. You enjoy it to an extent in terms of the gameplay, but in terms of what I go to watch a football match, it wasn't. Yeah, look, you enjoy the game. You still, we're lucky to be there to watch the Reds play every sort of weekend. So we have to, respect that. But if I'm honest, Asim, yeah, look, it's a good game. I think you summed it up perfectly. A game of two halves. You played really well the first, and God knows what happened in the second, especially in the first 20 minutes. Um, but it took us a little bit of get going a little bit in the second half, and I think towards the end we could have nicked it. They could have nicked it with that last Odegaard chance as
Yeah.
well. But if I'm honest, I don't really care. I wanted to win. Make no mistake. I wanted to put a proper
Mm.
nail in Arsenal's coffin, but it is what it is.
Okay. Is there any point talking about the game?
No,
Or
I
we
think
can
you
go
need to go
there?
straight into it, man. This is what it's all about. No
Okay,
dilly dallying here.
Talk to me. Talk to me about Trent's reception. Um, I thought the manager made a mistake. What did you make of it?
At the time, when I saw him warming up, running up and down and stuff like that before he came on, I thought he might bring him on. I just had this feeling he might bring him on today. And then when Conor Bradley Asim got his yellow, I knew he was going to bring him on. But I think from a slot perspective, he probably thought, you know
So, do
what?
you think, just to stop you there, do you think if Bradley's not on a yellow card, Trent don't come on?
I think he probably still does.
Okay.
But I think that definitely, I think he probably come on because what minute did he come on? Was it around the 65 minutes, 50,
It was
65 minute
it was
mark?
something like that. Yeah, it was
I
something like
can't
that.
really remember Asim, but it was around that sort of mark, and I could just sort of tell that he's going to bring him on. I think he was testing the waters, Asim, if I'm honest with you, to see what sort of reactions he's going to get. 59 minutes, that's early, if that's the
Half an hour.
case. Testing the waters to see what sort of reaction he's going to get. I was not expecting that, if I'm honest with you today.
Okay.
Because I was probably expecting when he came on, I thought, okay, yeah, there's going to be groans, there's going to be boos. I was expecting that before he came on. I
Hmm.
probably was not expecting him to get booed every time he touched the ball, Asim.
Do you think that was
I
too much
wasn't
for you?
expecting that. It's a difficult one. If you ask me on a personal thingy, I would say, look, before the game, yeah, you can boo him and all that sort of thing. But I think if I'm honest, Asim, I would rather not boo him when he's playing at Anfield against Arsenal, and every time he touches the ball, to me, it didn't feel right. And that's just my personal opinion. And you know me how hardcore I am with Trent and all this club. I can't stand this shit. But I get it. I get everything in terms of give him shit, boo him when you have to. But when he's wearing that shirt
Hmm.
on the pitch, Asim, it's slightly different. For me anyway. You might have a different opinion on that. And it was toxic, Asim. You could really felt
Was
it.
it
And
was?
and and I think even when his name was mentioned at the start, there was booze.
Yeah, when he
Um,
came on, Sheen, I don't know if
yeah,
you were still in the ground. I was like, a lot of the cop weren't there, so obviously they drive the chance in the ground, and it's generally speaking, if whatever the cop does gets the headlines. If someone boos you in Anfield Road End, let's be honest, it didn't get the headlines, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Let's be honest. And because the main chunk of the fans is it still our biggest stand? But anyway, don't really care. But if the cop does it, it gets headlines. And when he came on to train and warm up, the cop was still in the pub, and it was quite a warm reception from most of the people. Well, nearly everyone at the ground. And then when you as you say that, when the names were read out, the team names, and Trent's name was, I got surprised because maybe I just wasn't focusing, or maybe he wasn't thinking what's coming. And I looked up, I thought, what the hell's going on here? And then I realized his name is being called out, and that was a surprise. And then all of a sudden, you start seeing people saying they shouldn't be booing him, they shouldn't be booing him. And then on a few occasions in the first half, he went to warm up near the away fans. He got booed. And then on the second half, again near the away fans.
I couldn't see that.
Yeah. So you on the right, you were cop side, weren't you? And then he got booed as well. Applause as well. We have to, say that as well. But you could see that the guys, like, he doesn't give a lot via his facial expressions and body language on his best days, Gene. But you could tell that this is sort of it's mounting up to, and it could be something big. And then when he was warming up, your manager gives you a little hug, a little few instructions and stuff like that. But you could tell even the staff were kind of expecting it, because a few on the bench were sort of hugging him, right? Sort of.
I saw one of them before he went on. I actually saw him put his arm around him and said, telling him what to do and all that type of stuff. I was watching that.
Instructions, fine, but it was like more encouragement.
It wasn't any. Yeah, it was encouragement.
It's more encouragement, trying to get his head right. So that's where I think the decision was wrong. If you've got and you're making such an effort for him to come out and getting his head right, then surely it's probably the best decision not to play him. And I see where you're coming from about testing the waters and stuff like that. But Gene, you think that if they booed him today, they're not going to boo him against Brighton, or they're not going to boo him against Crystal Palace, because now there's sort of a split and a division amongst the fan base, and you've seen it even through journalists and the season ticket holders, the guys who attend every game, and they're absolutely going crazy about their right to voice their opinion. And look, I don't have a problem with booing. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a booer, but my.
I'm not a booer.
Yeah, if that's the word. But I don't have a problem with people booing. That's their way. Each to their own. If they want to boo, fine. But I'm with you, Gene. Probably there is a line, because today, what if this was a title decider at 2-1?
I think it'd be different.
Do you think he gets booed? I don't think he gets booed.
I don't. I think that if I'm honest with you, I think another reason why it really got to me a little bit was, look, it was 2-1 at the time, and I felt it took the gloss off the performance, our title. We're sat here talking about Trent. It should have been a day of celebration. Even if we lost and I'm not really, we wouldn't have been that bothered, but we would have still, been a laugh and a joke. But it felt like it took some gloss off, and I didn't like it at all. I really didn't like it.
And there was a moment, when the booing got louder and louder and more of it, the more times he touched the ball, where a lot of people stopped watching the game, and all their attention and focus was towards the cop, and the fans were actually screaming at each other at once. Not once.
Asim, there was people around me, some booing, some clapping, like you mentioned, and some saying, leave him alone. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to say, and the people didn't know. But look, end of the day, I don't have an issue. Look, I was probably one of the ones that called him a rat and everything when the news came out that we felt like he was going to leave. And I think it's the way everything's happened. It's the first time, or it's the first game at home since he announced that he was going to go. Then you get to, he announces it when we've just won the title, and then he, the Madrid want him to come early and all this sort of stuff. And it's going to rile people up. This was never going to be an easy road, Asim. This was going to be messy the day it happened. Let's face it. We all knew deep down it was going to be messy. we probably didn't think that it was going to be to this sort of level
Mm.
at this sort of thingy. But I have no issue with it. If I'm honest with you, generally speaking, I have no issue with it. But I just felt at the time when he's wearing the red and he's on the pitch,
Mm.
you have to sort of support. But I get everybody anywhere else, because at the end of the day, they're not even happy in being on the pitch.
Yeah.
And so that's why they're pointing the finger at Slot. He shouldn't have brought him on the pitch. We've got play Kwanzaa. We've won the title. We don't want to. Most fans have said we don't want to see him because he's actually done us over, sort of thing. He's left us on a free. Now all this stuff about Real Madrid. So I think it's probably, I can accept the fact that, you know what, you probably agree in terms of him having Slot getting it wrong. He shouldn't have started. He shouldn't have played him.
Before we talk more of Trent, I have to talk about Mr. Hassan.
Oh, Arsenal fans.
Why are Arsenal
Coming
fans
to us talking about
today?
No. They're talking to us about class. They bloody booed their manager out, the greatest manager out of the club.
They dragged him out. They dragged him out of the club.
Literally, God knows how many times they booed Xhaka. Remember Xhaka getting subbed off and doing this to his fans? You remember that?
Forget that. He threw the shirt on the floor.
Oh yeah, exactly.
He threw the shirt on the floor, and then I think they gave him the captaincy back. This is the
there
class.
You go.
This is the class of Arsenal fans. But anyway, you know, when it comes to Arsenal winning trophies, they're irrelevant because what was that song again?
The best team in the Europe. Best team in Europe, man. Best team in Europe. Get it right.
Best team in Europe, man. Sorry, Hassan. Anyway, but Gene, I'm gonna go back on that. Do you think if we were winning 2-1 and the title race is on, I don't think he gets the booze like he got today. I don't think so.
I agree with you.
Maybe they felt this is a brilliant opportunity, no pressure, that result is irrelevant, and we voice our concern. But now, because there's a division and it's created loads of headlines, and there's a back and forth between the fans about why you booing and this and that. The other side is saying we've got a right to express our opinion and voices. But
that's a fair point, Asim.
What?
I don't think he announces them.
What do you mean?
He wouldn't have announced he's leaving the football club if the title was still on. If there was still a title race.
Fair point. Yeah, it's a fair point.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Yeah, maybe because to their credit, they weren't booing him, even though there was a general consensus that he was leaving. Yeah, so I get that.
And they sang his name.
I don't think it's going to decrease now, Gene.
I don't. And that's it now. I think he's done. There's no way he plays the next 2 games. He doesn't get a minute in them next 2 games. There is not a chance. Number one, I say we're not ruining our final game of the season, right? Our actual celebration where we lift the title for somebody else, for him, a guy that's going to leave the football club. No chance. That ain't happening. Number one, Liverpool won't allow it, and we just don't want that, and the fans don't want it. So there's got no to worry about. It is what it is. You just play the game, enjoy yourselves. My only little thing is when he lifts that trophy, and he is going to lift that trophy on that final day. That is the only thing that I can think of right now where there might be. How would you feel if on that final day he's getting the trophies being lifted at him?
Gene, you have to remain consistent. The guys who boo him, they can't boo him today and then applaud him on the parade. It's simple. You told him how you felt today. Why change in a couple of weeks? So
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Today, you're gonna have to boo tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. I just find it really weird that one of our player a player that's played for us this season is lifting a Premier League trophy, and you're booing him. That's harsh, Asim. Not harsh, but it's weird. And it's not something that anyone's ever experienced or seen. I'm not blaming. Look, I'm not blaming.
But you still, going back to your point, and there's a few comments that agree with you, that you're saying that he's testing the waters.
Look, Asim, I think people have actually put this message up there saying, you know what? Put it this way, Asim. If there's any Liverpool player who's done well, won the title, and all that type of stuff, they've got a clear message from the Liverpool fans. if you want to be remembered at this football club, you better not go down this route because you're going to get it from us. And I don't mind that. I'll be straight with you, Asim.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
mind that.
no, it's right.
I think, but one thing is, I do think that most of these, other players. Like, I'll give you an example. If a McAllister comes on, in a year, 2 years time, says, "Look, I want to go to Real," I think we'll just probably respect it. He's played well. We know deep down. I think because he's one of our own, the things that he said and how he's gone about it. I think a lot of it is down to that as well. So that's why we feel like slightly hard done by, and how they manufactured everything, and it's the way he's done things, man. Asim. He disrespected us, so the fans are going to disrespect him. He did
Exactly.
disrespect us. You can't say to the Liverpool fans this, and then Julame Chuti. It doesn't work like that, man.
And that's the point, Gene. You have to remember, only a year ago, he was in LA, I think it was, where we went. He was signing Real Madrid shirts. Now, that's
There
a
you go. You're
pre-season,
not stupid.
but I do expect my vice captain to be signing Real Madrid shirts. Then 6 months later, you say you don't want to talk in public. You're not even doing normal motivational talks. You can have an agreement with the media company, whoever you're giving an interview, saying, "Don't ask me a question about my contract. I will not answer it, and I won't do interviews, in the future with you." You can have that. Look at Baba Fergie. He didn't come to a BBC for years in protest, for years. But the problem with Trent is he wasn't even given normal interviews. And what killed it for me is now we've got the information he's leaving. That gesture was towards the fans at West Ham. And if you're going to give that to the fans, then you're making it about you. Then you have to expect that treatment.
Asim, look, Asim, there's a lot of players that will come to you and say, "What do you want to do? I want to win this. I want to win that." I get it. Players like you ask Kylian Mbappe, "Do you want Champions League or do you want a flipping Ballon d'Or?" He'll say, "Give me the Champions League because I want to win that." This guy, a right back, wanted a Ballon d'Or. Yeah. Over a Champions League at Liverpool or another title at Liverpool. Yeah, come on, man. Right back. Are you taking the piss? With respect. Guy, I think he's won 2 flipping player of the months in his whole career. Yeah, and he's talking about winning a Ballon d'Or. There's limits, man. Yeah, so, you don't say, captain, I'll choose that over captaining your football club. That was the interview that really gave it away that he's off. Oh, I've already done that, so you can't put that in there. No, that was bullshit, man. When she asked him the question, she meant, "Do you want to captain this football club?" As in, be the actual captain, not be a captain for one game. So he was just dilly-dallying his way through it. And, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But you know what? It just felt a bit, not wrong, but it felt weird.
No,
maybe because I was sat in the main stand, Asim, and that is weird. If I was in the cup, I'd be booing him. I'll tell you straight.
but
I think if I was sat in the cup,
but there was a lot in the coppers that were applauding him as well, Gene. And then it became a competition between the fans, Gene, where every time Trent touched the ball, fans purposely got up and applauded him as well.
I know. I seen that a lot today. They did. There was a lot of applause. Even at the end, I say when the game had finished and he was walking around, and clapping. You could tell there's a lot of people that was already people stood up at that time anyway. But there were a lot of fans applauding, but we still got some boos. Not some. There was still decent amount of boos as well. But it's just for me, it's left a slightly sour taste today. If I'm honest, it felt slightly weird.
But this is the reason why I go back to the decision of the manager, Gene. This is not bloody Feyenoord, with all due respect. It's Liverpool.
Yeah.
This is not like Gertrude going to Leipzig. This is Trent going to Real Madrid, and he's one of their own. It's one of their own, born and bred.
He did get it wrong. He did get it. There's no.
I don't buy this, TD Gene, that he was throwing him under the bus. He was testing him.
No.
Asim. What was he trying to achieve, though? I don't understand.
See what sort of reaction he's going to get. To see if I should play him or not. I don't think. Or Asim, look, Slot is. What I've seen with Slot is slightly ruthless, but he did mess up today. And people have mentioned Wolves goals. He messed up. That's where I got it from. He did mess up today. It was wrong.
Okay, a few super chats that have come in. Luke, big up, man. Always supporting. Thank you very much. Smash a like, by the way. We never ask. We always too engrossed with the conversation. Luke says Chiesa not being on the bench, very poor from Slot. And when his song, which is an absolute belter, by the way.
Elter of it went on for ages.
It was, I think it was I don't know who started it, but the first time I heard it, I looked up and Uppa Annie was singing it. Uppa Annie was loud, you know, but then the whole ground started singing it, like you say, for ages. And I felt bad for Federico because he sat at home probably watching it. I didn't see him
No,
today.
I saw him today.
Oh,
I
did you
saw him.
see him?
He was
Okay,
there.
normally when he's on the bench, he's been jumping up and down, but good on him for, being around. But I felt sorry for him because I think he does deserve to be on the bench at least. The lad might not be good enough, might not deserve to be here next summer, but every time he has come on across that white line, he's giving everything. But if someone doesn't want to be here, Gene, I would not bring him to the squad. Simple as. He, for the next 3 games, shouldn't have been in the squad. Come on the parade, and if you get booed, you get applauded. Let that be your lasting memory, because you made it out like this. You've left. That's fine. And now, a lot of people would have probably applauded him, but Chiesa wants to be here.
Asim, he was expecting. Trent is not stupid. He wasn't really gonna think I'm gonna get clapped off and I'm gonna get a farewell reception when he said he wants to go. So he probably was expecting I am gonna get it one day, and today was the day he was gonna get it.
The problem with that I have, sorry, we'll go to the next super chat, is Trent, especially in the last 2-3 months. Like he's, there's reports coming out of that Man United game. I think his head wasn't in the right place and stuff like that. But even last week or so, and after the first, when he came on, and I think there was a stoppage in the game, and I just kept on looking at him. I didn't look anywhere else. I looked at him. Gene, the lad looks lost. Maybe you're right. He doesn't expect that type of reaction. He probably expected boos, but not to that extent. And I think it affected him today as well, where his passing on the ball, he can pass like that on one leg. Honestly, he can pass like that on one leg. But when there's not the aggressive type of Trent, then you see a different player as well. And you see that, what's the word? Not lack of focus, but, it's a bit of a subtle. That's the word I'm looking for in English. But that's what he becomes. He just starts looking around. Maybe he felt sorry for him as well. And I can understand that as well, the amount of contributions that he's given to this football club since the age of 6. And Liverpool are giving him a lot more probably, but he's given a lot to Liverpool as well. Let's not beat around the bush. But maybe he thought, what, this could be my last memory, my legacy maybe down the road. And he started thinking, and that's because of the stoppage. Honestly, I've got the video as well. For about 15-20 seconds, he just stopped and he looked like he was the only guy on the pitch looking around, thinking, what the hell have I just done? And I felt sorry for him in a way. I'm not going to lie to you, because the lad has given a lot to Liverpool. Some of my best memories involves Trent. Let's make sure that's clear. But the thing is he handled it wrong. And I thought
he's an idiot, man. He's an idiot. And that's the only way to. I've gave him a load of shit. He's an absolute idiot. Because why? Look, for me, I've always said this. He could have become the greatest ever Liverpool player. If you have the potential to become arguably the greatest player in the history of Liverpool Football Club, one of the biggest clubs in the world, your boyhood club, right? If he was just a normal player who's gonna play out his career, won titles with us, amazing. But this guy has the potential to be the greatest. He could have surpassed all of them because of what he could have won. He would have won the title this season. He's still got 5 or 6 years at the highest level. Captain of this football club, would have given his all. Or go to Real Madrid and become a standard normal guy and ruin your legacy at Liverpool Football Club just to get that move. And you're going to be up against Liverpool in the Champions League. We ain't going anywhere. It's like, McManaman, he won trophies. We weren't going to challenge. I sort of get it. This guy had no excuse. So for me, you can come up with the palaver of, I want to try a new language, a new culture, and all that bullshit, man. It don't wash. When you've got the greatness in front of you of becoming that, and you give that up, there's something not right. And if you're saying that's how he felt, even at half time, when he was like, I saw a clip today where he was like training, he wasn't really engaging with the other players. I felt like there's something, not even when the game started, he made an underlapping run a couple of times. He didn't get the ball. And once he even looked at Salah, like, Normally, you would have been like, Sasalah, what are you doing? He was like, like made that little face. Why you should have passed it? Should have passed it to me.
Yeah.
But you know what? Look, it is what it
You know
is.
what?
This
What
is
I also will say, and I'm not scared to say it on this show, but someone put it up as well. I think it was Ricky. What happened to You Never Walk Alone? And that's probably something that's been thrown at Liverpool fans in the best part
But
of.
they'll come back with you, Asim. He who betrays will always walk alone. We said we've done that in the past. They felt
That's not
betrayed by
that's
him.
not our anthem though.
But but Asim,
That's not our anthem. Our anthem, You Never
betrayals,
Walk Alone, is all about being with you and supporting you in the most challenging times as well.
but they're not gonna challenge and be with you if you betrayals. Betrayals different, man.
Okay.
We will be with you all the way through, of course, 100%. And we always have been. Whoever we supported, we always have. But when you're flipping, you've betrayed your own fans and said you want out of this football club, then you're not part of this. You Never Walk Alone. Let's face it, you want out.
So if you're not in, you get that reception.
I'm not saying, look, what did I say to you? I said,
My point is because a lot of fans are saying we didn't show the class. Booing is not, it doesn't epitomize what Liverpool fans, go on about. And I get it with an emotional fan base as well. So look, I'm trying to play devil's advocate here.
okay,
You have to.
Real Madrid's greatest ever player, Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah.
Oh, they don't have class, Gene.
No,
you can score and be a Ballon d'Or winner. Score hat-trick for Real Madrid. The next day, if you play shit, they're throwing a white towel at you.
Asim,
simple.
Every club has booed players. We're making it out like, you know what? We're the only club in world football that's ever booed a player. No. So many clubs have done that in the past. United probably boo a player every other week. They do that. They've done that to their best players, Bruno Fernandes, who's carried them for years now, probably, right? They bloody booed him. Yeah, it's part and parcel of football. I don't think it's a big deal. But the only thing that, in terms of my biggest issue, was when he's on the pitch. Yeah, and he's just come on. He's on the pitch. I found that hard to take. Hard to take, meaning it just didn't look right to me anyway. And
aren't you going against the right of fans then? About why are you trying to tell how fans?
No, I'm not. I'm saying I didn't feel right. I'm not saying people don't have the right to thingy. It didn't sit right with me. Just because it doesn't sit right, it doesn't sit right with other people. You could use, if you booed him, I'll be like, fine, that's how you felt.
No, I'm not talking about the actual boo. I'm talking about the effect of it. The effect of it, Gene, that we kind of forgot we were playing a football game.
We did.
Let's be honest.
How does
that help the team then?
It didn't help the team. There's no doubt. Asim, look.
If something doesn't help the team, why is it right then? Because we're there to support.
When we always do. This is why it was and we called it. The manager made a mistake. But the manager shouldn't have really brought him on, number one. And number two, we were perfectly fine. Everybody was enjoying their day. Even if we do the game 2-2 and Trent really didn't come on, everything's hunky-dory. It was a mistake from the manager. He's come out now. Before it was okay, Asim, he didn't come out. He's come out and I'll just leave him on the bench. We've won the title now. There's no need for it.
Okay. A few super chats. CD, thank you very much for your super chat. He deserved more booze. 2-year planning. The plan to not get on with Slot plus our transition as an excuse. Don't want to see him near the celebrations. Gene, do you think now Slot has realized he's made a mistake?
100% he's realized.
And he's going to act where Conor Bradley will start every game.
Without doubt.
He said that on Friday, didn't he? Well, do you think Trent makes little cameos like today?
We'll have to wait and see. I don't think. No, he's not playing any cameos. He ain't making no cameos, Asim. You'd be absolute mad for him to have any cameos. If anything, play Kwanzaa. You've got Kwanzaa. If Bradley can only do 70 minutes, TK play Kwanzaa.
So why did
play Endo right back?
Slot at the end of the game goes, I have to do what I have to do in terms of winning the game. He even talked
Yeah.
about Trent's 2 brilliant balls, which they were. And as that second one later on, he turned to his bench and he goes, "What a ball!" So I think he wants to see a bit more Trent. I think he plays.
You having a laugh?
I think he
You
plays.
think he's gonna play? You must be on cloud cuckoo,
I
mate.
don't think he should.
But you think
But I think
Slot's gonna say TK Anja, here's another 20 minutes of booze.
yeah.
That's what he's gonna get. You just said that's what he's gonna get. You just said the fans are gonna be consistent. Mate, listen, Asim. He better not be anywhere. Listen. Listen. Whatever Slot does, Slot is no way. He is not playing Palace. I guarantee you that. If he has to give him 10 minutes, he might be. I can't see it. But
I'm with the son.
He's
I'm with the son. I think Slot don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, he cares on the final day of the season. Today, when he goes home and realizes that you know what, all of Twitter, all the Liverpool fan base are sat there talking about Trent. There is no chance anyone's gonna sort it, even try to tarnish our trophy lift. And Slot ain't gonna tarnish it either. But I mean, it's people speak about Trent. Come on, Asim. He's not that stupid.
Okay.
He misjudged it this time around. He's not doing it again.
TK. Let's see.
One guy goes, imagine Slot put him on purpose. That has to be quite funny, yeah.
There's a lot of people saying that, you know. There's a theory where you strung us along all season.
You have this.
And then have this. But I do agree with you. You made it a point earlier on where it sets a bad precedent to where whether you're a homegrown player, whether you're a foreign player, it doesn't matter. We have to make it hard for Liverpool players to leave the football club. If we're
100%.
And this is the reason why I was bang on against the idea where we even let him go for £1 million. You know, if we take 800 grand or whatever it is, £1 million, we're facilitating that move. Whether it's a complete move later in July or going to play the Club World Cup. Simple as.
No, which is
if someone tomorrow knocks on your door, what are you going to say? What are you going to say?
You're right.
But I think Slot has handled it wrong. I think he mentioned it even today and even the last 2-3 weeks where he thinks, Gene, even in the press conference, he said, I'm used to, and I think there is a point. This is what Ehsan is touching on. He's used to players leaving, 2-3 best players leaving every summer. And he think, and maybe today as well, he thought it's one of them. Where Trent, I know it's Trent, homegrown, best player, but I'm used to players leaving with the football club. And this is what he was saying on a few occasions at the presser, that I'm used to players leaving. And maybe this is, he's realized how big Liverpool Football Club is today. So, yeah, I would be surprised, Gene.
That coming on against Palace. Nobody's as if they have no chance. You must be an idiot.
What if the fans have let it out today? What if the fans have let it out today? And then the fans' attitude might be, you know what? It's the trophy lift today. We're not booing you today because we've just let it out. We told you on that first occasion what we thought of you. But today we're not booing you because it's a party today. Could that be a theory?
No, mate. He ain't not playing that game.
Because I turned when the boos were going off, and I turned to the last who sits next to me, and I said he shouldn't be playing. He shouldn't have come on the ground. And she basically said what a few you guys are saying, look, I think he's just testing the waters as to see what sort of reaction he gets, and maybe he'll make a call for the next couple of games. But I don't know. Maybe it was too early for that, Gene. This is the first time that we saw him, I think, wasn't it? Is this the first time? No, it came at Chelsea. We played Chelsea.
Chelsea.
First time at Anfield.
Yeah, so, first time. Look, at the end of the day, you know what? He will get injured. You know what, Kaden, I agree with you. Just give him an injury, man. Just give him a little injury. TK, move on. You know, he's got injured. TK, he can't play and all that type of stuff. That makes sense.
Let's go to the super chats. Ali, you're asking me to touch on the pundits. I don't know what the pundits are you talking about. Who are you talking about? I've not seen one interview. I've not seen slots.
But one thing,
Sometimes,
Asim, before you go, before you, there's obviously I've read stuff today, calling Liverpool fans a disgrace, and all the other fans have come out. Oh, you've done this. Listen, the one thing I will say is you can't tell fans how to react to these type of situations. They call us in. They can do what they want. End of the day, they're the ones who go and pay the money, and they're the ones who have been paying their money for the God knows how many years. So if they want to boo a player for who they feel has let them down and strung them along, then fair play. They have every right to. Just because you don't believe in it doesn't mean that they can't. So look, every fan has its
they're
prerogative to
just
go.
trolling, man. They're just trolling, man.
No, obviously, and I'm just generally saying because it's not just trolling. I see my flipping. What do you call echo? I read something about
What did they say?
what's it? Doyle. He goes flipping. They called us a disgrace. Called it a disgrace and all sorts today,
I've not
man.
read that. I've not
I
read that.
literally just read it about 20 about a half an hour ago in the echo. Yeah, and you just think when this is the echo coming out with shit. Yeah, stuff like that. I called it a disgrace.
But this is the problem. Half of these journalists don't even know fuck all about football. I'll be honest with you.
And in a way, people don't understand is football is an emotional sport. Yes, we don't see, especially modern day football, we don't see this type of stuff, yeah. But in the back in the days, there was loyalty. People stayed at their football club they were wanting to be at. You generally saw that type of stuff. Now, we're letting it know that what, if you come to this Liverpool football club, this is what it's about. And yeah, people mentioned the way Robbo handled it. I thought Robbo did brilliantly well. Robbo said, "Look, I'm not going to tell you the fans how to react or anything. This is, but you don't tell me." And I think for me, he's been an unbelievable personal friend, teammate, made me a better footballer, all that type of stuff. But you guys can, you're entitled to your own opinion, which is fans respect that. No problem. Nobody said anything wrong to Robbo. He's fine. That's by all means. That's his opinion.
Mm.
And nobody's. This is what I'm saying. We're not going to give Robbo shit or why you're not on the same train as us or anybody else. Everybody's right to their own opinion, but don't give us shit for our own opinion. That's what we're trying to say.
Okay, there's a few more super chats. I knew this become the Trent show, and I'm not surprised. Ali, big up, man. Thank you very much for your super chat, Ali. Asim, not Ali. Asim, Klopp will be at the last game. What will he feel? Well, he won't be getting booze, Ali. I can assure you that. What will he feel? Look, I think Klopp would have protected Trent. I think would have Klopp. And Klopp's got the
100%.
power, Gene. If he got the booze, Klopp would have turned to the cop, telling him to shut the fuck up. He's done that a couple of occasions, even in a sort of modest way when
I'm telling you,
when
Asim.
about last season, Gene, when I think I don't know which game it was. The cop wanted to, play roller football, and Klopp turned around to him to calm down, calm down. So if he can do that, I don't think Slot has been here long enough. Yeah, I know he's won a title. I don't think he's got the personality as well, Gene. But I think Klopp would have come out and be a lot more vocal, Gene. I think Klopp would have handled it slightly more better. He might have played him. And he probably would have if I had to pick or predict. But I
Asim, he
think
had players like
he would have
Götze,
got the
Lewandowski, all these players
right.
leave. Asim, he had players like Lewandowski, sorry, Götze, and these players who were at the peak of their power at the time, won titles and went, go to Real Madrid. They went to his rivals. So he's been in these situations before. Klopp has. And he probably will have handled it slightly differently. And I think he will have done. He left for fees. Yes, Bob, I agree. They went for money and stuff. But still, they went to their rivals, which is a bit different. They didn't exactly go to Real Madrid to a different country. So it'd be interesting. And I think, but one thing I will tell you, Asim.
Klopp would have joined in the video. I don't think. I think Klopp has got the connection with the fans, Sheen, leading up to the game. I think he would have got him on more on side than
Yes,
what
he would have done that. I think he would have said Trent's coming on. I'm going to give Trent 20 minutes. And said, look, You know, at the end of the day, he's
Yeah,
still a
it's
Liverpool player.
expectation then,
He
isn't
wears
it?
it. Yeah, he still wears the red of Liverpool. So when he's on that pitch, we support. He would have said something like that. After maybe in the differently fair, but when he's wearing the red of Liverpool, anybody, indirectly said anybody who wears the Liverpool with shirt, we support. I get that. I think that's probably might have been the thing. But end of the day, Asim, the Klopp, yes, they listen, and it's Jurgen Klopp. I get that, but you don't tell us how to feel. Remember this, and the fans have said this on numerous occasions. Don't tell us how we feel, regardless if you're Jurgen Klopp or anybody else.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I think there was one more super chat. Kibriya, our very own Mohammed Kibriya. Thank you very much, man. I hope you're well. He's not been too well, Gene. I don't know if you know, and well, he's back. He's
All
back.
right,
He's fighting fair, alhamdulillah.
alhamdulillah.
Good evening, all. If you think fans are wrong to boo Trent, then football's not for you. We move. But this is the reason. Thing is, I think Liverpool fans, you touched on it earlier, Gene. Liverpool fans are pissed off as well. Well, maybe I think it's the social media world as well, Gene. Is if you see a comment from a rival fan, you're going to react to it. Let's be honest, there's
Yeah,
plenty of trolls. And look, I do a bit of trolling, a bit of bantering as well on Twitter. Why not? Arsenal are there to banter because that's where they're here. That's what they're all about, aren't they? If you don't win trophies, you get bantered. Simple, and especially when you call yourself, you don't win a trophy for 5 years, and you call yourself the best team in Europe, and expect fans to come at you. But moving away, I always try to not to have digs at him, but I keep seeing him in the comments. But Gene, Trent, and the fans, I think I saw Rio Ferdinand's tweet as well. Like, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you? I don't swear because I've sworn enough tonight. Like, haven't you sworn, booed a player? Haven't you been pissed off and expressed your feelings and your opinions on a player leaving, born and bred? Like, what Liverpool fans doing that no other fan base has done up and down the country? Tell me.
exactly. What did I say? Everybody
A
boos.
player that they see as they're one of the best players in the world. We can safely call him that. And is a homegrown player going for free. I get that
Who
lifestyle.
told us? Who fed us a lot of shit as well at the same
Exactly.
time? I mean, they put all of that together. They have a right. They said to me, I get modern day football's changed, all that. And this is what I said, in the past, you probably wouldn't have seen this. But times have moved on. People are different. I'm actually, like I mentioned, shell shocked that this guy who had the world at his feet, at one of the biggest clubs in the world, and wanted out, and he should have gone about it in a different manner. Yeah, you should have got us a decent fee, and everything would have been hunky dory.
You
But
think
look,
so?
I think if he went for 70, not now. If he signed for 2 years contract, went for 50, went somewhere else 50, 60 million. Go try your, go to Bayern Munich. I'm sure they'll give you 50, 60. We give us 50, 60 million. We would have accepted it. Yes, we would have been peed off, but we would have accepted it. At least we've got something. I think we would have accepted it. Meaning, no, I'm not saying we're not going to be unhappy.
It will soften the blow.
Yes.
But I don't think
Yeah.
there's a right way to leave. If you're homegrown, look, there is a right way to leave. Obviously, Bobby and Mane and these guys, they did it proper, and that's why the reason why they got the mics and the send offs the last of the season. But when you do it like this, Gene, I think even let's say he had 2 years on his contract, Gene, and he went for 50 million. You'd still be going crazy about how he strung us along. You kind of would forget about the 50, 60 million you receive. So I don't think.
Yeah, maybe not accepted, but you're probably right. Probably does soften the blow that we've got some money that way we can go and strengthen the team sort of thing. But in terms of acceptance, yeah, you're probably right. I don't think I would have accepted it regardless of money. I would have said flipping wait till the transfer. I would be saying wait till his flipping contract finishes and let him go for free. That's the truth. I'm not gonna lie. That's probably what I'd deep down might be saying. Forget him. At least we've gone for another 2 years. Let him rot in the reserves for 2 years. Forget the 60 million. No, that's what we probably say.
Yeah, exactly. I wanna put that up. That's what he is. Oh, go on, our very own Adnan. Thank you very much for your super chat. He must have got paid early today. Booze weren't nice. I'm glad it was his own bank account, not Bonner Reds. Boos weren't nice, but it's understandable and expected. Sick of these ex-footballers defending their own like Carra. Why not be critical of Trent for the way he's handled it? What did Carra exactly say? Did you see it? I don't
Asim,
listen
I
to a
missed
lot of
it.
Carra. I don't listen to a lot of Carra,
I'll be
and
honest, Asim, I missed it.
I wouldn't take my opinion. I see him on Monday night football here and there when he gets a load of information throughout the day and talks about the game. But anyway, I wouldn't like to listen to Carragher about negotiations and contracts and booze and this and that. This is the same fella that went after our best player, only 3-4 months ago, publicly on many occasions going after Salah. Yeah, this guy was questioning Salah's professionalism, integrity at times as well. And do you expect me to talk about this lad? Move on, man.
Asim, back onto Trent. You know what? When I heard this, I was like, wow. When they sang, bring on your internationale, yeah. When they sang that, I could sense it. Like, you know what? This is really bad. Because before, yeah, they were singing about Conor Bradley. End of the day, we know he's going to be our right back, fine. But that was telling to Trent, Butter, next year, get ready, mate. End of the day, Liverpool are the team that we don't, bring on, Barcelona, Real Madrid, who the F you're trying to kid. That was us telling him, bring Butter next season. Who the hell are they? We don't give a shit if you're Barcelona, Real Madrid, Roma, or flipping Inter. It was really like, whoa, they did go all out for him today. There was no hang. They sang Gerard's song 3 or 4 times. Even his song, was going all around Anfield. But it was when they sang that, I was like, mate, that was hard.
Yeah, 100%.
That must have been really, really hard for him. But you know what, Asim, the fucking took the piss out of us. So I'm a bit easy on him because I think we won the title. If we didn't win the title, mate, this team, but I think I'm a bit relaxed right now because I know we won the title.
But I think that's what knocked him. When I was talking about that, he seemed lost on the middle of the pitch. But I think the moment he came on, Gene, I thought that's what knocked him for 6.
You couldn't believe it.
He couldn't believe when he was
Not that.
walking up. Yeah. Even when he was receiving instructions, Gene, from Heitinger and then, Slot as well, you could tell that this guy's mind is elsewhere because he could hear the Internationale chant, then he could hear the Gerard chant, then he crossed the white line, he got booed. Then soon after that, the Conor Bradley was going around the whole of Anfield. So that if you wanted a message towards you from the family,
that was an absolute
that was a message.
Allah message, mate. They let him know, like I said, mate. They let him know, mate. Bro, this is what we think of you. And it was hard. And there was no flipping, there was no dilly-dallying, mate.
You want to talk about the game? It's 50 minutes we were talking about thingy. Well, I thought first half we were good, Gene. I thought
we first half 20 minutes we were brilliant.
We could have been out of sight. Although that free kick, I think that was quite good work from Arsenal. They probably expected us to play them offside, but they made Saka run from deep. And that was a really, really good set piece from them. But after that, I thought we battered them. We could have been out of sight.
And we should have been. We missed some really, really good chances. Salah in the first half was unbelievable. His passing, Asim, you spoke about that KDB run pass a few times, and you've tweeted about it when we saw that, at least 3 times in that first half, and we should have been out of sight, if I'm honest with you. Arsenal were definitely not at the races. You could tell they'd played a Champions League semi-final and got beat a few days before that, and we should have been ahead. Gakpo had the chance before he scored. Diaz had one where Salah should have had an assist. There was another one. It just wasn't. We just didn't put them away. And yes, they did have a couple of chances. I thought, Curtis Jones, I don't know what the hell he was trying to do in that inside our own penalty area when he lost the ball. I thought they should, which Arsenal messed up on. But you got to give the Arsenal credit, Asim. They were good in the second half. I thought they turned it on. They showed out that they're a fantastic football team, and they do. As you can't, I have a go at them all the time, but make no mistake, they are a brilliant football team, and they will be there again next season. And they just need to go and buy a couple of players and make a go of it. But we were just a better team this year, and there was nobody that was catching us, especially from the start that we had. But it was interesting though. Who did you think had in terms of the midfield? Obviously, McAllister didn't play today.
Hmm.
What did you make of our midfield
I thought first half,
tactically?
I thought Szoboszlai was really good in the first half, Gene. Second half,
Yep.
we were all shy. Let's be honest. Whether
Yeah.
we were thinking let's go to Dubai right now, or I think you have to give credit to Arsenal as well. I think this is what I'm a big fan, and I know Arteta gets a lot of shite from opposing fans, but in terms of just on his coaching, I think and his structure, I think he's a really good coach. Um, whether he's a really good manager, I don't know. I don't know him as a person. Maybe we don't keep much of a close eye on him. But what we see is there's a really good team. Whether they've got the mentality, I question it until they get over the line, and I think that's fair enough. But they don't. You could see it today, even the second half. And one of my sort of qualms with him as a coach is I don't think he takes the risk. He's too much on there on the extreme levels
I will.
of control. And in the second half, they'll push Ben White forward.
Yeah.
And I think they cause us problems.
I tell you another thing that I found. I've never because obviously I was where I was sat today. I got to see Slot. I got to see Arteta. Arteta, Asim, tells them to do every single pass, bro.
He
I
does.
was to the point where he's telling the goalkeeper, "Go on." Every
He
single
does.
time, I was actually shell shocked at how he is actually every single pass. Give there, give there, give there, give there, every single thing. And I've never seen that.
But
I've never
that's
seen.
what my problem is. I think he's gone. When he was conceding goals, and a lot of when you listen to a lot of Arsenal fans speak about a couple of seasons ago, where they were scoring a lot of goals, they were conceding many. I think they conceded maybe I might be wrong here, about 30 odd, maybe even close to 40 goals. I might be wrong. Maybe someone in the chat can correct us. But he went from here to here, and he needed to strike that balance. And
Yeah,
now the injuries and a few of the things. But I still think he's and what you're talking about, every little pass, that's what modern coaching to an extent has become. Really, like control freaks, Gene. Everything has to be repetition. Everything has to be a pattern, rehearsed pattern of play. Where if a ball breaks loose and Odegaard, we see Trent go long with a vertical pass and we're in. But those sort of coaches, especially Arteta, even Slot does it as well. But it's recycle. Let's get in a position if we do lose the ball, like we've got the ball here, ball is broke loose. But if we play that pass now, our rest defense is not good enough as well. So the control freaks want the Odegaards to pass it sideways, recycle the ball, and then set positions, and then orchestrate an attack.
bullshit way of playing us him. I tell you that
That's
now.
what these
That
coaches are
is,
about now.
I don't want to watch football. You might as well just watch the fucking coach, and he'll tell you where he's passing the ball all the time. Honestly, Asim, I just found it really. I found it weird. Again, probably watching him, he's telling the goalkeeper every time what to do.
Yeah, well, that's
I
what it
was
is.
like, what? This is mental. I've never seen that. And look, but I still have to give end of the day. I say all that, but I have to give their team a lot of credit. I thought they were fantastic second
Mm.
half. Asim. They really got to us the way they played. I saw, like you mentioned, Ben White started pushing forward. Martinelli's runs, man. I was really impressed with his off the ball movement, especially when he's playing inside towards more of an in that number 9. His movement was fantastic. Um, but yeah, they're a good side, but end of the day, I think for us, it didn't really mean that much.
Yeah.
End of the day, we're the ones that won the title, not them. They will definitely need to go and buy a striker. That's 100%. But I know he's a bit of a prick, but I thought Partey was fantastic. He's a
Partey,
monster of a midfielder, man.
he doesn't look quick. He always gets there.
He does.
And I
He's
think that's more intelligence, where he's always at the right time, at the right place. He knows he's getting pressed. He can just pop it off to the defenders. He's strong enough just to turn. He's not a Gravenberg where he'll drop a
no, no,
shoulder
no.
and dribble, but he'll just do enough little side movements where he'll beat the press and come inside or go sideways. And I think his ball retention is very, very underrated as well. And I think there was a moment in the first half, maybe, where Soboslai just grabbed him
I
and
saw
there was a
that.
free kick. But the reason why I'm mentioning it is he's strong. He's a butter. He's a
He is. He's
proper
a butter.
butter.
He's. But what question to you then? Is he going on a free at the end of the summer?
I think they extend Partey's contract for 1 year.
Because if he goes and Zubamendi comes, I think as good as Zubamendi is, man, I think Partey is a huge miss for them.
You know, Zubamendi, and this is one of the reasons, like Aston Villa showed it, where the elite, we were talking about tempo setters, the elite tempo centers like Vitinha and even Jao Neves as a duo. But Gene is to get on top of them. If you go long, you win the second balls, and you beat them by just getting on top of them. You know, like a boxer where Eubank fight, where he wasn't probably, and I saw his interview as well, where he was talking about the technicalities of boxing went out the window after 6-7 rounds. I thought,
Yeah,
I need to brawl here. And that's what I'm trying to talk about. When you try to play roller football against PSG, and obviously they try to counter that by dropping deep, really deep, asking players, if you're going to really get really aggressive with those and intense, are you going to go into the areas of pitch that to really vacate space in the center of the midfield? Can you do that? And they engineer control by doing and by picking the ball up from their defenders. But I think Aston Villa showed a good example of that. But going back to Zubamendi, I think he's in that mold where you can get on top of him. But Arsenal have a good environment for him, Gene, as well. But my concern is, look, Declan Rice is an unbelievable player, Gene. He's an unbelievable player. But I think they've got a bit of a dilemma as to, on the very big day, Gene, when you're expected to control a game and attack, even if it's an against a PSG, if the game isn't stretched, I think they have a problem. Where Declan Rice, in a funny way, and a lot of people have probably said this around Trent as well, where he's our strongest player, most creative player, but he can't defend.
biggest weakness.
Is biggest weakness. So your biggest strength is your biggest weakness as well, and that's fine. You just need to make sure you manage it. But in the middle of the park with Rice, Gene, I think on the biggest day, I don't think he's good enough to receive the ball against an aggressive press. So you don't play him 6. But if you've got the ball and the game isn't stretched, he's not good enough to.
He's not good enough. Yeah.
So where do you play him? And I think that's where their sort of problem is. So if you play Partey, Rice, and Odegaard, it's fine, and he'll work 9 out of 10 times. But when it really matters, Rice is not good enough to be the 10.
Rice is not, but fucking Partey's with the Odegaard's not good enough either.
Yeah, but maybe they've got long-term plans with Wanyeri and stuff like that. This is another one. Zubi, Rice can play, part of the pivot, and then you've got the 10, and then Rice can go from those deeper positions and attack the box. That may work, but against a bus where Rice isn't expected to be hanging around the pitch with Zubi, like we see with our own, McAllister comes deep, very comfortable. McAllister in the second phase in the number 8 position, very comfortable. McAllister receiving in advanced positions at the top of the box, very comfortable. And this is why, we've always said he's more of a Gundogan. Rice at the top of the box, receiving it on the half turn, he's not that player. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's a kind of nice problem to have, but I don't know that because the ideal situation for them, Gene, was bringing Rice as the 6. Then they can go get the number 8 as in maybe Odegaard on the other side. But now they probably got 2 10s. But what do you say?
You spoke about Rice like that. Do we have that?
At the moment, no, Gene. Why? Because I think Szoboszlai plays 2-3 roles for us. Today was an example where there was a lot of rotation involved as well. And Szoboszlai was coming as part of the pivot, keeping possession, popping it off first time to the defenders. And when he's on the right, he initiates the press. Even when the ball breaks loose, Salah was a bit more compact because he was tracking the inverted Lewis Kelly in midfield. So the right side was even more open, especially when they beat that press on that side. And who was coming across? It was Dominic Szoboszlai. And you need those legs. And I took a bit of shit, Gene, that when we played Arsenal away, and I wrote a little thread about, McAllister, when teams try to pull apart our structure, especially in midfield. Has McAllister got those legs? McAllister's been one of our best players this season, unbelievable player. But maybe this is one of the reasons why he probably thought, what, it's against Arsenal. They tried to take advantage, and he thought he might have a bit of legs. But generally, we're okay for legs, but we don't have that physicality of, who's maybe a PSG, a Newcastle away from home and stuff like that. So we lack a bit of tempo. We lack a bit of legs when McAllister plays. But who makes up for it, Gene, is Dominic Szoboszlai. So would you say that long-term our problem with Szoboszlai, when you've got the environment and total control, I mentioned it on the last show, Gene, is then you can give a bit more license to your 10. And when you give license to a 10, then they need to be a bit more nimble, a bit more natural, if you like. And maybe you can get, and that's
Yeah,
why Javi Simmons is a good blend, where Harvey Elliott doesn't have the physicality of Szoboszlai, but he's a more of a natural 10 and how
yeah,
to receive a ball. But he doesn't have the physicality, so he doesn't get trusted. But Javi Simmons is a good hybrid between the two in terms of he's got the natural tendencies to receive on the half turn, and he's got more legs than Harvey Elliott, so he makes sense. So maybe that's the long-term issue. I don't know. The solution, I don't know. Let's go back to our super chats. Atik, thank you very much, man. Always supporting. Hope that was your own card as well. For you, Junior. Also, thoughts go out to 56 football fans who lost
40
their
years
life.
ago,
Oh, yes.
Bradford
Valley
Fire.
Parade, wasn't it? Valley Parade. I think they played Lincoln on that day.
Yeah,
And there was a fire. Yeah, forever in our thoughts. Brilliant super chat by Atik there. Andy, big up, man. Thank you very much. We need 3 fluid attackers. Diaz is our best number 9. So if
well,
he's
we need another number 9.
so yeah, if
We
he's
need an
go on, Gene, go on.
nah, and look, he's played well, but we need a number 9, a proper number 9. And I think we're seeing links to Ekatike, and there's a few others. And there's number 9 that's not even a question in the summer. We have to go and sign a number 9, especially with Darwin going. And I think we saw Darwin came on today, and we saw exactly why we need a number 9 in the summer. And we'll just have to go into the market and go and buy one. I like Diaz. I think I want him. I want Diaz to stay now. I don't want. I wanted him to leave. Of course, if you said to me Anthony Gordon, I will take it because I love Anthony Gordon. But Diaz, he's proven to me this season that I like him. I don't want him to go. We might cash in, but I want him to stay. To be fair, I don't think there's not many players that in this Liverpool team now have gone bar the 9s. If I'm honest, the rest of them, I want them to stay.
Yeah, to be fair to Diaz and Gakpo, I would say they are fluid, Gene.
They're
Gakpo,
both fluid.
yeah,
No, he's Gakpo maybe not as much as Diaz,
yeah,
but Gakpo has played played inside, he's played 9, false 9 sort of thing. He's played in the hole, and this is his best position, and he should have had 2 today. Good header and stuff for the goal, but both of their numbers have been good enough to an extent.
yeah, exactly.
If you look at their numbers this season, so we can't really have a go at our wingers. My only issue with the wingers is I need wingers that have got blistering
Mm.
pace. I need one especially who's good enough to go past a player.
Okay, let's go to a few more super chats. Luke, big up, Luke. Thank you very much for your super chat, mate. If you had to pick one to sign out Sesko, Ekitike, and Delap, which would you sign, and why Sesko is starting to grow on me, honestly? I take out Delap straight away. I don't think he's Liverpool standard at the moment, anyway. And I don't think we should be buying a Delap to start, to lead the line for us. Then Ekitike and Sesko, Gene. I will say I've not watched a lot of them. I probably watched a bit more of Ekitike. I think Ekitike is easier on the eye. Is easy on the eye, but that doesn't mean Sesko isn't good technically as well, or cannot grow into that as well. But I think Sesko has got a higher ceiling, Gene.
I think Ekitike has got a higher ceiling as him.
Really? Wow. I think Sesko's got high ceiling. I might be wrong, but
Look, I might be. I just think from what I've seen of Etikite, I think, bro, there's something in there that he can become an unbelievable forward, but it might take him a year or two. And I don't have a year or two to wait, man. That's the biggest problem right now. When you've signed Van Dijk and Salah to 2-year contracts, in that 9 position, we can't get it wrong.
is
Have to
this a
go.
bit concerning for you? I know he was young, but is it a bit concerning?
Not really. I've seen him play this season. I think he's been really, really good.
Yeah, look, it is. You know, you
So
could
many
easily say
players.
that
Look,
for Salah, can't you?
PSG are a look. If we're talking about PSG in the past, who was you up against? Mbappe, Neymar, and these guys, man. He didn't really work out. It didn't work out. He's gone abroad and he's done really, really well this season. This is the first season where they didn't have Mbappe. So I would. I just think there's something about Etikite.
Who? Let's ask the thingy. What you need to do is pronounce his name
I don't
right.
need to explain it. Ekitike. There
That's
you
the
go.
one. Let's ask the chat. Who's got a higher ceiling? Because the chat always are very knowledgeable. They watch every game in Europe. Who's got the highest ceiling? Sesko is clear, Bilal says. Hugo. Dilap. No. Ekitike, according to Mohsin. Answer the question, man. Who's got a higher ceiling?
Bilal, why are you answering 5 times? We saw your
Ekitike
answer
or
once enough.
Sesko? A lot of Seskos, Gene. Selection.
What do you mean, loads of Etikite as well?
No, because they were telling you how to pronounce his name.
No, what the hell? Nunes.
He said Darwin. What I have seen of Sesko is, Gene. Would it be fair? Look, I know he's decent technically as well, and he can grow as a footballer. But would you say he's more of a Haaland mold?
Who?
Sesko.
He's probably more of a striker, innit? Like a 9. Whereas from what I've seen of Etikite, he likes to drift out wide. He likes to come inside. He's got a bit more to his game. I've seen. Look, Sesko's really good. I'm not saying he's not good. Yeah, I would take him. But we were talking ceilings. I do like Sesko. If you said to me, you got Sesko, I'd be really happy. But in terms of ceiling, I think there's something about Ekitike. I got it right.
Yeah.
Sesko doesn't. Actually, that's another good. Does he excite you though? He doesn't.
Ekitike doesn't excite me.
Ekitike
Does
does,
he?
man.
Oh,
I think the guy's got something about him, man.
Ekitike does not excite me. Honestly, doesn't excite me. What excites me is Isaac and Julian Alvarez.
Oh, yeah, they're not excited. They're Chalia Mar me. Isaac. Excite. That's not excitement. That's bloody jumping off a cliff saying, yeah, we killed it.
But
any of them two.
Does Osimhen excite you?
Yes, I love Osimhen. I've been banging on about Osimhen for a long time. Osimhen Drello Drali in the Premier League if he was at Liverpool.
I think I'm right.
Go on, Jay.
I think Jay goes, does anyone excite you? Well, Trent did excite me, as you know. But I think I'm with the chat will be with me on this one. Does Ekitike excite you, chat? Yes or no? I think you'll get a lot of no's. Might be wrong.
Yeah, I think that the guy is gonna bang it for us, man. If he signed him.
Look, there's 2 no's straight away.
You don't deserve the no's.
No.
You don't deserve.
No. I told you. You only got one yes.
Asim. These not just one. Look, they don't. Look, why? They just want Isak, Asim. That's what it is. So
yeah,
obviously,
that has to be part of it.
No, if that's the case, obviously
okay,
not.
In isolation, why does Ekitike excite you?
I think he's got.
He
reminds me of Isak. I'm telling you, the guy's got a bit about him, man.
We got a tune supporter in the chat. My battery's empty. I can't even bloody charge his mouse.
What's he saying? I missed it.
Newcastle. They've got top 4 now, aren't they?
Yeah, all tune supporter. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, everybody wants Isak. I've won Isak. Yeah, we all flipping crying about.
Was Jay right now today?
Eh?
Was Jay at the ground? He
Yeah, I
goes,
met
"Asim,
him.
I was looking for you."
Yeah, I met him.
Well, he goes, "I was looking for you." Like there was about 4 people there. Come on, Jay, man. There was only 60,000 people.
Yeah, big up Jay. Jay's my supporter, man. Big up.
So,
Jay,
so,
keep going for this Asim. Keep going for him.
so he looked for you. He found you, but he didn't find me.
Because you blocked
There's
him.
a surprise. There's a
You blocked
surprise.
him. You blocked him.
No, I was busy looking for Trent. Ali asks, "Have you seen the Frimpong? What do you think of the Frimpong deal? Because you've been away, Gene. Do you think we get it over the line?"
Yes, I think we get it. Yeah, it's everything makes sense, doesn't it? If you actually look at the deal,
Mm.
it makes sense. He's a good player. He can play in multiple positions. Homegrown, decent buyout clause. And it makes sense. And we need another right back, a slightly different one, and that's what he provides. So fair play.
Okay.
Big up, J man. It was nice to see you too, bro.
Look, man, we were just about to leave, but it looks like the big fish are in the building as well. Moby, Newcastle tried to sign Ekatike before they signed Isaac because of the similarities in profile. PSG won that race. Who was calling PSG PPG yesterday? I can't remember. It reminded me of that. PSG won that race, but Newcastle was close. Big up, Moby, man. Look at this lad.
This guy, ये आपदा साला है, पता नहीं कुछ
Oh
आई
my
गया.
God. Did you see him after the game today?
No, I rang him because he was already in Warrington.
Oh, he probably walked out at 75th minute.
No, he didn't.
He probably didn't.
No, as soon as he left straight after final whistle.
So that's what it was. The first set of boos was when the crowd was booing him walking out at the 75th minute. Gene, do you think it's done then that Isaac gets Champions League? Then we won't even bother. Because at the moment, every journalist that knows a thing or two about Liverpool is Isaac's the dream. Isaac's the first priority. Isaac is the first target. But if they get Champions League, would Liverpool waste any time on it?
We will still go in for him. I think we make a move. They will say no, so, yeah, and then we move on. But we will make a move. And we will make a move and say and put it into Isak's ball in Isak's court. Okay, you won a trophy with them. I know we've got Toon support in the house. You won a trophy for them. You're a legend in that club. You've come. Aija, come over, man. It's time to go and win some real trophies. And we give him.
Here's a question then. What if we've already tried for Isaac?
And I say yes.
I didn't say that.
So why asking me the question? We've already tried to get. That's good, isn't it? That's good news then. But what we've been told, are we linked to any of the striker? We're linked to everyone every other day, to be fair.
Loads.
I've seen them all.
Okay. TK. I thought Asim or Muhammad spamming here. What are you doing?
Yeah, Muhammad to changa bande. Every time you have a show, I have to say this to him. Yaar, when you put the message up the whole, you only need to put it once. Everybody can read.
Well, look what he's saying. What he's saying.
It's not yaj.
How much will Osimhen cost?
I don't think he costs that much.
Not that much.
40 million. It's his wages.
Okay.
Top dollar, mate. You're gonna have to pay top dollar. 60 million release clause. 50.
60 million release clause, Gene, according to Zach.
It's worth it, isn't it? 55 million release. Well, whatever it's you'll see. 55.
Little summer discount. Rank your top 5 strikers you would want.
Right now. Anywhere. I think we agree Isak 1. We agree Alvarez 2. Yeah? We're not the ones that we're sort of linked to. For me, it's Osimhen.
Ooh, Jay's got a good question. Huh? Go on, Osimhen 3.
Mine's Osimhen. Number 4.
Ekitike.
Yeah. What do you take Gikoras?
Yeah. I would take I know he's about, what is he, 26, 27 now? He's probably about 3, 4 years older than Ekitike. I would take a punt on Gyökeres. I think he's scoring too many goals to ignore. Arsenal are going to go for him. Arsenal probably get him off the line. I don't think we get him. But if it was up to me, I'd go Isak, Alvarez, then I'd go Gyökeres.
What about Marcus Thuram?
No.
You're saying no to him, or we're not gonna get him?
I don't think he's good enough for Liverpool.
Lautaro Martinez.
Would I take him?
In the top 5. Does he make your cut?
Lautaro.
Oh yeah. Actually, we don't want Marcus Thuram. He's got
Why?
his own story going on. He's got his own story going on.
Is he one of them? Would
Yeah,
you
he's
take-
one of them.
Oh, this guy's a good name.
Dusan Vlahovic.
Yeah, people have forgot about him, Gene.
Yeah, he's a weird one, man. Like,
What I would, before you think it, what I would say about Lautaro is, and Thuram, I think that's a really good partnership, Gene. How would
Yeah.
Lautaro work for us being alone up there where he has to do a bit more dirty work? Maybe Thuram runs the channels a bit more than him. He's a very, very
There's-
good,
there's a-
bit of an old-fashioned, partnership that is.
yeah.
But he's got an eye for goal. I give him that. Would I take him? I would take him, Gene. Because I think he's a better player right now than Ekitike and Sesko.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
So for that reason, yes. Harry Kane, would you take him for about a year or two?
No doubt, man. Come on, yeah. Who's gonna say no to Harry Kane?
TK.
But we're going for players that we can I believe we can get.
Okay. I think I asked you this question. Jay's asked me. I have to be nice to Jay today. Asim, who would be your dream signing this summer? Like, apart from Isak and Alvarez, I've been going on about Xavi Simons for about a month now.
That's your dream signing.
Yeah, look, apart from the obvious, Sheen, I'm not going to go like Musiala's and Wirtz and all these lot.
Rodrigo.
Yeah, I think that he'd be classed as a dream signing. But I don't think it's realistic, Gene.
Why? He wants out, they need to sell him, saying.
I don't know. It would be a dream signing, no doubt about that. But realistic dream signing. Slightly adjusted it for you, Jay. I think Xavi Simons.
How much Xavi Simons going to cost?
60 million?
More than that.
60. No, I think it is about 60 million, you know. Who would your dream signing be? Realistic.
Would you classify Gordon realistic? No. Not now.
I don't know. What if he's got some sort of release
Adam
date?
Wharton. Is that realistic? I think it is this summer.
Would you class him as a dream signing, though?
Rafael Leao.
Is he a dream signing?
For me, he's one up there.
So
I'm just
pick
going
one.
by the names, people.
He said pick one, not 10. What if you had a choice between thingy? Don't say Liao and Wharton. Ehsan knew exactly what you were doing. Pick one.
I got yeah, I was willing to pay 100 million for one, so I have to say one.
But do you think Wharton is a bigger need?
Wharton, not me.
Because you've been talking about
Wharton.
you want a player to take a player
Yeah,
on.
I know. Look, the truth is, I love Liao. I think Liao smashes it for us. Uske liye Liao.
Bloody hell, here's a name. Let me take a picture of this. Wait on.
This guy isn't 9 much mukne.
Let me take a picture of this because this will be some player that I need to check out. He's probably about 18-year-old playing in Romania or something. And
Asim, all season I got cooked for Wharton. Yeah, for what I might take. Everybody now is saying we want Wharton. Wharton. Wharton is a bad boy player, man. He needed out. He wanted out. He couldn't get out. He couldn't be asked playing for Palace. He's realized 4 or 5 months, that you know what? Now he started playing again properly, and he's proved how good he is, man. What a player! What a player,
Okay.
man.
Do we get a deal over the line, Gene, over the next week or two? Prediction?
No,
No.
not the next week or two. No chance. Because sorry, I'm tired, man. I think we'll wait till the end of the season now. I suppose it is 2 weeks, isn't it?
Huh?
I suppose it is 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think as soon as the season finishes, 2 days later, we sign a player. So yeah, maybe 2.5 weeks. You're right. I think as soon as the parade's done, next 3 days later, number one's through the door.
I think Bournemouth, Gene.
Yeah.
I think we could have been respecting the fact that they're in for a race for Europe, but I think that's more or less done.
Or
Done
should
now,
you,
isn't it?
Nani? Yeah.
I think that's more or less done.
Yeah. I think
So,
we will move really quickly in terms of the signings.
yeah, if anything,
Because we've
it's
got to
gonna
buy 4, so
okay. I think that's done. 1 hour 20. Thank you very much for listening in for the Trent Show. Smash a like and subscribe to the channel. Are we on 12K yet?
I don't know, Sim, nearly. Sadi, show me my phone.
The amount of messages I get over the week, Gene, that talk about our subscribers, because I sometimes send a reminder out on WhatsApp and stuff like that, or on my Insta, and so many people message me saying, "How the hell are you boys only on 12K subscribers?" Because I tell them that a lot of people watch us, but for some
I think
reason,
it's about 6:30 something. Sorry, 6:56 to go, Sim.
there we are. Look at this now. Look at this.
99 likes.
Tell them, Luke. Tell them.
Now
It's still
smash the like,
300
guys.
people. Smash a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if you're watching the show later on, let us know, because we discussed Trent at length. Was he right to get booed? Did the fans, have the right to really express and go to those depths to voicing their, opinion on? Or was it too much? Was it too much of a toxic behavior, or did it only happen is because the result was irrelevant? Let us know. Smash a like.
Sorry,
And
this is actually quite funny before we go.
oh, Abid, he's got an opinion. Not right to boo him. Abid, come on camera. We'll give you a mic. We'll give you a laptop on the house and discuss it. This is our very own friend. He's a big referee as well. He probably gets more abuse from the touch on the touchline than he'd get on here. But I've invited Abid so much, but maybe he's gone for the money elsewhere. I don't know. But thank you very much for watching, people, and we shall catch you on the next one. Take care and have a good night. Bye-bye.
Okay, take care, guys.